Good evening and welcome to the board meeting of the Fallbrook Union Elementary School District. I call this meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. We would like to start with the flag salute. Mrs. Lieber, would you lead us today?
Please rise. Ready, begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. The first item on our agenda today is the third and final hearing session for the trustee area map redistricting. And we're very excited to have been at this point. We want to thank everybody who's helped us get this far. Tonight we have Mr. Will Tunick from DWK, our attorneys, and Susan Miller, Cooperative Strategy, our demographers, who have done such heavy lifting for us during this process. So grateful. We will start initially with a look at the three maps that we're considering: scenario 1, scenario 2, and scenario 3A. So Susan, shall I turn it over to you?
Yes, that'd be great. And I'll start to share my screen. So we just have one page tonight to look at. Actually, we've gone through the presentation a number of times. And so the last round that we had, the ask of us and of William and crowd was be concise, put it on one page so that we can just see exactly where we are and be able to kind of have an evaluation across those three different options. So scenario 1, once again, just to refresh people's memory, we have a variance of about 5.8%. And we're focusing on the Area 3 Hispanic Latino CVAP in particular, just to make sure we're continuing to keeping it in bounds and honoring the minority majority status of that community. So once again, it's 52.3%. When we look to scenario 2, we have a variance of 8.4%, and we're looking at the CVAP for trustee area 3, once again, of 52.7. So a little bit of an uptick in that area. And then in scenario 3A, we have a variance of 7.6. So between variance 5.8 and variance 8.4, somewhere in the middle, with an overall CVAP in trustee area 3 of 51.6. So those were the three that you all, I think, took it down to from the other options that we had considered. And you want time to look at them again and provide yourselves a bit of thought process to come to a conclusion this evening about which scenario was the one that you would move forward with to submit.
Mrs. Miller, is there a way to make that a larger part of your screen share? Can we?
Oh, sure. Let me make sure. Yes, let's see if I can do that. No, I hate when I do this. Let's see. Hold on. I have to put on my glasses. I'm embarrassed. Sorry. Let's see if I can. It should make it bigger. I wonder why. Let's see. Nope, that makes it too small. I'm technologically challenged when I do it this way.
Oh, you were in.
Susan, try clicking on the display settings up at the top.
Yeah, I did that, but it's only swapping to swap.
Right.
That way.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. I learned something new.
Thank you very much. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just want to be sure everybody can see that. All righty. Thank you so much for keeping it brief. I think you're right. We've really gone through this a great deal in the previous two hearing sessions. I just want to remind those of you who are listening to today's meeting that this is in response to the 2020 census. We need to make sure that all 5 of our districts are relatively even in terms of population, and that we protect our majority community, which is in trustee area 3, that we respect communities of interest, very high priority for this as well. And then lastly, stability of the governing board is a consideration, but is definitely after the first 3. We have both written and live comments. I'd like to turn this over to our board clerk, Mrs. Lopez, and you can start with our written ones.
Okay. The first one is from Michelle Jordan, and the topic is redistricting. As a parent of a student in FUESD, I have been following the redistricting discussion closely. Our current FUSD board has done such a fantastic job of working through the pandemic by working together to keep class sizes small and spring our students, teachers, and staff. The board also kept our schools open when many districts were remote for months. I think it would be unfortunate if a board decision eliminated the possibility to maintain the current board. For this reason, I think MAP 3A makes the most sense as it addresses current concerns, but also allows the current board the possibility to be reelected. Comment number 2 is from Leticia Maldonado Stamos, and she wanted to see if she was on board. Okay. Mrs. Stamos will be doing her own comment.
Mrs. Lopez, was she having us read it as well as live? Or no?
She wanted to do it live if she was available.
He is on, so.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yes, unfortunately, I'm over at the high school board meeting as they're also meeting on districting. So I just want to make sure that I read my comments myself. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Good evening, FUESD Board of Trustees. My name is Elena Leticia Maldonado Stamos. I would like to comment on redistricting map scenario 3A being considered for adoption to adjust the boundaries of the elementary school board elections. While I believe I understand Trustee Libes's comment at the last board meeting regarding the legality of the various scenarios being considered, please allow me to point out that a legal map could not, excuse me, there's people talking. A legal map could very likely be an unfair and unjust map, which was the case back in 2018 when the majority of the board voted for a wholly unfair but legal map. I respectfully remind you that the entire foundation of this redistricting process is to enfranchise, to include, and engage and represent a protected class, in this case, the Latino community of Fallbrook. I want to reiterate the immensely important aspect of communities of interest, which a demographer does not have access to in the census data, which they use to create the maps. And so you, as a governing and decision-making body, must seek out that crucial information by reaching out to the community itself, as you have done. There are glaring and obvious things that we must all take into account as we work together in this process. And then there are nuances. While scenario 1 is okay, scenario 3A addresses all of those obvious considerations as well as the nuances, and it's therefore the stronger of the final scenarios you are considering. Map 2 moves neighborhoods for the sake of numbers at the detriment of communities of interest. So I urge you to disregard that scenario in this discussion. Map 3A is fair, carefully studied, inclusive of the protected class wants and needs, and it is legal. I urge you to adopt Map 3A on behalf of all of the residents of Fallbrook. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the comments about redistricting. Oh. Yeah. Hold on one second. Oh, sorry. Regarding the maps and so is my wife. She's gonna do that, but Ken's gonna talk next. Got it. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we have another live comment, public comment from Kenneth Ostrowski.
Good evening. Can I be heard right now?
You can.
Okay, great. Just wanted to check. Good evening, governing board, cabinet members, and community members. My name is Ken Ostrowski, representing the Fallbrook Elementary Teachers Association as bargaining chair and speaking on behalf of FIDA leadership this evening. After listening to the board discussions last week and reviewing the possible maps for trustee areas, we believe that map 3A should be chosen by the board as it meets the needs of our community from an equity standpoint and additionally honors the electoral process in relation to the current board. While retaining the current trustees and trustee areas is lower on the list of concerns, as was noted, when this can be done while ensuring equity in our community, it should be strongly considered. There is little to be gained by disrupting the work the board is currently doing if a suitable map allows continuity on the board until the election process for each trustee area plays out in its scheduled timeline. Secondly, on behalf of FIDA leadership, I'd like to address the retirement announcement of Julie Norby, FUESD's assistant superintendent. I'm guessing it's fairly rare that an employee union publicly speaks out about an administrative retirement, other than to perhaps encourage it. But in this case, we believe it's more than warranted. As FIDA's bargaining chair, each year I found myself and my team on the opposite side of the table from Ms. Norby and her team. And often in these situations, the two teams are at odds with desired outcomes, and frustration can lead to dislike. And yet with Ms. Norby, over the years, the opposite transpired, with respect replacing distrust. Like all school districts, FUESD has been faced with significant challenges over the years, the last two of which have been enormously difficult for everyone. And despite these challenges, both FUESD and FIDA found a way to listen, problem solve, and when necessary, compromise for the benefit of our community and our students. Ms. Norby was critical to that process. Her ability to speak plainly, focus on the critical factors in play, encourage open dialogue to solve problems, listen to suggestions, and most importantly, work collaboratively to achieve common goals was instrumental in bringing all parties together for the benefit of our students. And think of the balancing act it takes to do that. Certainly that's no easy task. FIDA's president, Jen Mariucci, and I have had the privilege of serving with Ms. Norby on numerous committees over the years, and her dedication to this district and the community are exemplary. And it was clear from the many conversations we've had that she never forgot what it was like to be a classroom teacher. And while we did not agree on every issue, it was obvious to all of us that our concerns were always given significant consideration. So Julie, with that, I can say that we will miss you here at FUESD. We'll miss your positivity, your collaborative spirit, your practical approaches, your determination to reach collective goals, and the mutual respect we shared working on committees and during negotiations. And most importantly, we will just miss you. We wish you all the very best in your retirement. Thank you. Appreciate the time this evening.
And we have one more comment regarding the redistricting from Morama Flores Higuino. Good evening, board members. My name is Morama Flores Higuino, and I am an active community member with a son at May Ellis Elementary and would like to urge the board to vote in favor of map 3A tonight, which keeps communities of interest together. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks to those of you who wrote comments and who called in. We've had a lot of very good input on the maps over the last month and a half. And it's been very much valued by us, so thank you. And now I turn this to our board for our board to do things. One is our goal is to select one of the three scenarios, but we do have the demographer here and we do have our attorney here in case there are any questions that you've had about the maps, or if there are any comments you would like to make about the maps. And then I will entertain a motion to approve one of the maps. But first, comments, questions. Mr. Favela, you look like you had something.
Well, I feel good about the process overall. I think we built on what was established a couple years ago and made I'm looking at map 3A in particular, made some modifications. I think that would help really benefit communities of interest, even military families to the south. So I feel very good about overall the process and what we're achieving consensus around, what it seems like, right? Yeah, so again, the data, looking at it from a satellite view, it tells us one thing, but when we're on the ground, when we see it, how it affects communities, I think map 3A is respectful of communities of interest and allows for growth for the future as well, for the next decade, right? So this is a map that determines the next decade. And I think it does the job, yeah.
And I know because you told us at our last meeting that you went out and walked many of the streets in the districts.
I did, yeah, definitely walked and drove around town, really looked at the boundaries that were in question. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to thank Mr. Favela and also Mrs. Leticia Stamos for the work that they put into doing a deep dive into this research, because we would not have the knowledge we have without the facts that you gathered for us. So appreciate the effort you put into thinking for 10 years, which is really brilliant, rather than just getting us a map to get us going. So thank you for that research.
Mrs. Wiggins or Mrs. Lopez, anything that you wanted to add?
I'm grateful and happy that it seems like we have a consensus that, a lot of different parts of our community are reaching the same conclusion, it seems like, and something that we can all agree on, I think.
That's what strikes me, is that we've heard from parents, we've heard from community leaders.
Dina now.
And I have to confess, it initially surprised me that we were getting all this response about 3A. I was like, okay, I'm not used to this level of consensus, but it does feel that there has been a real deep dive into these maps. And the community is giving us their voice, and I think we're also hearing it as well. I do want to once again thank the demographer, because we would not have mapped 3A unless she had worked on a Saturday and Sunday to create this map for us. And that has got that last ditch effort for her to get us that map, I think has gotten us to the place we are today. So
Yes, thank you.
that's two wonderful people from Cooperative Strategies, from Carolyn Hall and Susan Miller. So we're just very grateful. And if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adopt a new trustee area map.
I'll make a motion to adopt map 3A.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Well, second.
Mr. Favela, thank you. Any other comments, or are we ready for a vote? Okay. Let's start at this end. Mrs. Lucas.
Aye.
Mrs. Weaver.
Aye.
Mr. Favela.
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
And enthusiastic aye from me. And with that, the motion carries. We have a map, and I think we need a round of applause. Exciting. And yay. Okay, now we can continue on. I don't think we need a break. We've only been at the meeting for about 20 minutes. If it's all right, I'd like to go straight into our regular hearing session.
Sounds good.
We have had great response from the community for comments at today's meeting. And as some of you may know, it's our board's policy that we give each speaker 3 minutes and limit the time allowed for one single topic to a total of 20 minutes. And I've been informed that we have 9 or 10 speakers, I think 10, that want to speak on the mask mandate. And so that will limit everyone's time to 2 minutes. So I appreciate your trying to make that accommodation. And let's start with our written comments, Mrs. Lopez.
Okay. The first written comment is from Jennifer Patterson, and it concerned COVID mandates. Ending the mask mandate at school is essential for us to get back to normal. Our children should not be required to wear a mask for the majority of the day while our governor defies his own mandate. The charade is over and we as parents do not want to comply. The next is from someone named Elizabeth, also on masks on students. Hi, my name is Elizabeth and my son is a student at Live Oak Elementary. I am reaching out because of this ridiculous masking of our children. This has to end. The science is available for those willing to look at it and accept it. Other countries are getting rid of their mandates because citizens are waking up to the facts and are pushing back. Even other states are lifting their mandates, and a good majority of the country doesn't even require children to wear masks in school anymore. Is this virus really more dangerous in California than Arizona? I'm not sure you are all aware of the governor's football escapades. This state is looking more and more foolish by the day. We are living in a circus. It's not going to stop until we take a stand for what's right. This is a community effort and we need our local leaders to take a stand with us. Thank you. Next comment is from Patrina, asking that we stop making our children wear masks, these masks, as my kids have had ear infections, rashes on their face, and full anxiety being forced not to breathe. Let our kids have a choice. Let them have an immune system. Masking our children, not seeing the smiling faces wearing these masks is abuse and should not be tolerated anymore. The next comment is from Michelle. The topic is the mask mandate. I am a parent of 2 children in elementary school in Fallbrook, and I am opposed to the mask mandate for children. There have been enough studies conducted to prove masks are ineffective in preventing the spread of COVID. Additionally, our leaders who are enforcing the mandate aren't even adhering to their own mandate, proving the punitive nature of the mandate set forth. Our children are the least likely to be affected by COVID, and there is no rational reason to continue to comply with the mandate to enforce masks in the school setting. Children are allowed to play together, hug, tackle, sneeze, cough on one another outside of the classroom where masks aren't required, which poses a bigger threat of transferring germs than any indoor setting. Please consider the ridiculousness of the mask mandate and the unnecessary trauma it is putting our children through. The next comment is anonymous. I disagree with forcing kids to wear masks, and I'm completely against shot mandates. Let people choose what is best for them and let them learn freely. And the rest are live comments.
All right. If you are interested in speaking at this point, if you can click on the bottom of your screen where.
This is just for redistricting.
No, now we're doing community hearing and mask mandate.
So we have 4 people who've already registered that she's going to call out.
Oh, great. Okay.
So the first live,
That thought ahead.
the first live comment is from Tara Arwood.
And you can turn on your video if you would like. Any of our speakers can do that. We now have the capability to accommodate.
Mine wasn't in regards to the mask mandate. Should I still make it now?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, members of the board. I am here to speak on behalf of our daughter and family. As some of you know, our daughter attends William H. Fraser Elementary School here in your district. For 3 years, we have gone without an unsigned IEP to the fact that it does not support our daughter's needs while at school or on the bus. My husband has been driving our daughter to school every day this year, well, except during her 3 quarantines, but we'll get back to that. Because the school has yet to provide an LVN to respond to her medical needs while on the bus, even though it's a related service. The district has yet to provide a 1-to-1 LVN or allow us to send our home LVN for our daughter to safely access her education, resulting in missed days of school due to improper care and not following doctor's orders. This also includes incorrect and improper documentation of her care during the school day, amounts of medicine given, and the amount of liquid intake, the list could go on. There have been multiple letters sent in by her doctors, and your independent doctor was also informed that due to the continuity of care, it'd be best for our daughter to have her in-home nurse accompanying her to school to care for her medical needs. She has been in quarantine on 3 different occasions. First one for 24 days, second one for 15 days, and the last one for 6 days. The last time was due to issues that are clearly stated in her healthcare plan that are pre-existing condition, and the school has ordered to treat these issues. None of these quarantines followed the San Diego Department of Education guidelines for the quarantine times. She has missed out on a ton of education due to this issue. There's been over 30 tardies that she's received, some due to medical appointments, some due to transportation issues, and others due to her aide being late. I've repeatedly asked for copies of these late sleeps to match our pictures and timestamps to prove she was not late on some of these days, but yet waiting in the office for her aide to come get her. These have yet to be been provided to our family. It seems like every corner we turn, any question we ask, any concern we share is disregarded or met with what I call retaliation towards our daughter. She may be in a wheelchair, but she is mentally there and can feel this. I am not sure why, if this is happening due to her needs, due to the fact that I don't allow the district to bully us, or if it's due to her skin color. But I am yet asking you guys again to look into this matter. Lastly, I recently came across the district's message in celebrating Black History Month. There's a message from the superintendent, some quotes from MLK Jr., Rosa Parks, Jackie Robinson, and Harriet Tubman, and some suggested reading. I would like to point out that 3 of these books have nothing to do with Black history. As MLK Jr. said, the time is always right to do what is right. And as Rosa Parks said, you must never be fearful about doing what you are doing when it's right. So I'm asking you to do what is right and look into what is happening to our daughter. Thank you.
And the next live comment is from Kelly Hansen.
All right. Hi, my name is Kelly Hansen. Can you guys hear me?
Mhm.
Great. My name is Kelly Hansen. I am a mother of 4 boys who attend William H. Frazier Elementary School. And I understand that many people are confused with what rights they have when it comes to children's mask mandates in school. So I thought we could start by unpacking the CDPH's COVID-19 public health guidance for K through 12 schools in California. Let me read the first paragraph of the CDPH guidance. On July 9th, 2021, the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention published its updated recommendations for K through 12 schools. The following guidance applies CDC recommendations to the California context in order to help K through 9 schools formulate and implement plans for safe, successful, and full in-person instruction in the 2021-22 school year. This guidance is effective immediately and will be reviewed regularly by the California Department of Public Health. The foundational principle of this guidance is that all students must have access to safe and full in-person instruction and to as much instruction time as possible. Now, throughout the CDPH guidance, they are very clear that it is simply that. It is a guidance. It is recommendations. There are no laws in this document. There is also no indication or outline of any actions or consequences that can be lawfully enforced against students who do not comply. Instead, it is very clear that the entire purpose of this guidance is to ensure every student is entitled to full in-person instruction. Therefore, our district has an obligation to create an environment for maskless students to get full in-person instruction. I keep hearing the school board and the school district say, our hands are tied, but I pose this question. How long are you willing to compromise our children's well-being, emotional and developmental health, and also create educational hindrances in order to receive more money or to ensure you don't lose your insurance policy? This is
Thank you. The 2-minute time limit did expire. Next, we have Colleen Carta.
It's currently not online.
She's not online. Okay. Then we have Brittany Tremer. Okay, Brittany, you have 2 minutes.
Do you hear me now? Hello?
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, perfect. Hi, guys. So I've been watching the meeting, and I first would like to, though, comment that, again, you guys are all in the same room. You are on school property because it's a district office, and you are all unmasked, yet all of the children in your district have to go to school 6 hours and sit wearing a mask in class. I also saw in the paper that you guys recently got a purple star, something like that. And that's awesome. I love that. You guys are working with the community military, and that's great. But yet I saw the majority of you, again, it was outside, but you were unmasked and all the students were masked. That's wrong. I'm so tired of seeing these photos of the adults being willingly to take their mask off, yet all of these children can't because the adults tell them that they need to put it back on. They are going to suffer from traumatic generational trauma due to all this. I have been watching it through my two girls. They literally cried the other day when we tried to go to Legoland and they were told to be put a mask on. And I'm tired of watching my kids suffer and watch a lot of these kids suffer because when you're in school, you don't want to make any teacher or any administration person mad. You're there so that you're going to learn to be a better person, but you don't want to piss anybody off. Yet it's just, I'm done. I think you guys, looking at the other people that have now made their comments, I think it's clear. It's time for you guys, maybe reach out to Jim Desmond. He's totally on board with the kids being unmasked and giving the parents the choices. Reach out to him. He's part of our district. He was just in the parade during Christmas time. Let's go to the governor, right? Let's stand up. Let's show California that our small community can stand up and we can choose to accept that there are two sides.
Thank you, Brittany. Your time expired. Then we have Tara Jenkins.
That's her number. Let's wait for her.
I think it's important for you to understand it. I think it's important for the community to understand it. When you took that oath.
Hello, are you there, Tara?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, give me 1 second. I have to get out away from the noise. Apologize, I have little ones. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Okay. I just wanted to share some federal law with you guys because I know in the end, it seems that science doesn't matter and even public opinion doesn't matter, although it is important that you hear how your community feels on both sides. So here we go. And you can hear me okay, correct?
Going in and out.
I'm sorry?
Your voice is going in and out, so.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to talk to you about U.S. civil rights protection. Children have the legal right to enter into a school as protected by the law without coverings on their face. Schools have a legal classification known as a place of public accommodation. According to federal law, Title III, Regulation 28, CFR 36.104, your school serves the public and therefore must abide by all state and federal laws. No business policy supersedes that law, or no school policy, sorry. No governor's order, health order, emergency, or pandemic supersedes our constitutionally protected rights. This school is open to the public and these children are the public, so are us parents. Your denial of allowing parents without masks or children without masks violates several federal laws. For example, federal law 28 CFR 36.202 prohibits denial of participation from schools, from the school establishment. 36.202C states that unless an individual has been individually assessed as a direct threat, you may not exclude them from the same or equal services as others. I will define direct threat if I don't run out of time, and it's not what you think. Denying my service most likely. or denying these children in-person schooling in their classroom without looking for more least restrictive.
I'm sorry, Tara, your time ran out. And Colleen never checked in. Okay. I think that's all.
There were no other raised hands. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Lopez, and thanks to all of you who spoke. I just want to remind those who are listening, once again, that our board listens to all of those who call in and write in. It may be frustrating that we don't respond, but state law is very clear on that. The board is prohibited from commenting on any item that's not already on our agenda. So know that we hear you and that we appreciate your input, but we do need to follow the legal requirements of listening, but not commenting on it. So now I'd like to give the board an opportunity to make reports. Mrs. Lopez, would you like to start today?
Sure, I don't have much to report. I didn't really visit any schools or do any of that this time. I definitely would like to thank the staff and our demographers and you personally, Suzanne, for the work that you all put in to the maps. And I know this was a detailed process, but I'm really glad we took our time and spent some time looking into it so that we got it right. So I do appreciate all the time and effort and the weekends that you guys put into that. I'd also really like to thank the principals and the staff at the schools for keeping our schools open and for having our kids be there every day and providing them with the most optimum learning opportunities that we can. So I know it's difficult with some of the parents and some of the concerns that they have, but the fact that we're open every day and our kids are there learning, I think is critical. So I do want to thank the staff at each and every school and what they've put into keeping our kids safe and helping them to learn. That's it. Oh, and congratulations to Mrs. Norby for her retirement.
Well, I had a chance to watch via Instagram an awards assembly, I guess, at Mayales. My daughter was selected for habit number 5, exemplifying habit number 5, which I believe is seek to understand, to be understood, right? I don't know. Yeah. So, but it was great to see how the school still was able to organize an event for the students. They had a parade, still commemorating the Olympics, and it was great to see that happen. Unfortunate that we weren't able to be on campus to see that, but still participating virtually was still still as close as we could get. It was still good. But yeah, so I had a chance to observe that, and that's pretty much what I did in these last 2 weeks.
Thank you, and congratulations to your daughter.
Yeah.
And all the students that were recognized, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Good job.
We look forward to a time when we'll be able to have some students receive awards and staff and teachers and principals, and so that thought going. Ms. Lieber.
Again, I have not had any really exciting activities. I want to thank Dr. Singh for getting some information to us on everyone reader program. You know, who would know that program's been around since 1995. And I'm just learning about it, but I do think with the learning loss that if we could implement, it might be worth considering, because I think there is the interest in our small community. You know, we are fairly small and mighty, and I think there could be an interest with volunteers. So thank you very much for getting me that information. And it might be a worthwhile thing once it opens up again to have a board presentation so the community could learn a little bit about the program. And I want to thank Mrs. Norby for all of her fabulous years of service. And we are going to miss you. We're starting to miss you already. But thank you for all your service. And again, I want to thank Mr. Favela and all of the team that worked on this map, the demographer, and all the research that went into it from independent people who just want the best interest of Fallbrook looked in, provided. And I appreciate all that effort. And thank you to our president for the work that she put into it, which was extra and above what normally has to be done as a board president. And so thank you very much. And I do want to say, Mrs. Martin, the Mike Choate Center addition looks like it's coming along really, really well. And I've had several community members ask me what is going on. And so it's looking like it's coming along on schedule. So thank you for the time you've been putting into that. And that's the end of my report.
Yeah, not much to report since we haven't been able to visit campuses like we were planning, but as Mrs. Lopez said, we appreciate all the work that the schools are putting into just keeping things going right now. I did want to bring to my fellow trustees' attention that Legislative Action Week is coming up March 15th through 17th. And I was really glad to see that it is going to be virtual again, because I was already stressing about how am I going to take a week to go to DC. I did it last year and it was a great experience. They, if you register, they assign you with a small group. There were, I think, 4 or 5 board members in each group from different districts in your area, and they set up meetings with different representatives and give you talking points. You can kind of pick the ones that you're most interested in, and then just have a direct back and forth with our representatives. So I encourage you, if you're able to do that. And along those lines, I was happy to see that proposed legislation was introduced, SB 878, called the Road to Success, which would establish a state-funded program to ensure that every TK to 12 public school student in California gets transportation to and from school each day, which we're one of the few states that does not, there's no funding for transportation. We're very proud in our district that we still manage to provide transportation for some students, but this would provide for all students the actual funding, and then would make it so that districts could not charge for transportation up to the students, which hopefully would help with absenteeism. And it is sponsored by the California School Employees Association. So thank you to our CSEA folks for working on that, and I hope to see it move forward. That's my report.
As you can tell from listening to our board reports, because of COVID at this point, we haven't been spending as much time on campuses because they are really trying to do everything they can to keep things as safe as they can for the students. So that's why you're hearing many of us say we saw something but haven't been able to be there soon. Well, I just don't think it's fair. I just came on the board and got to know Mrs. Norby, and now she's leaving us. Seriously, in the short time that I've been on this board, Mrs. Norby has shown me what a lifetime devoted to education is all about. And, as we're in an era where a lot of young people are not going into the field, and many who are teachers are leaving it. Mrs. Norby, I think you're an amazing example of not only what it means to be giving so much as a teacher or a principal or an administrator, but the benefit that comes back to all of us who work with children and students, because it really does enrich our lives. And I think you're a wonderful example of that. And I think, if anything, I would say, let's give a shout out to the young folks. We need to get them excited about going into classrooms, because honestly, I don't think there's any job that's more important than teaching our kids. And, you've only been doing this for 39 years or so, but seriously, thank you for the insights you've given me in the time that I've been on board, the patience you've had in trying to explain sometimes fairly intricate and complex issues. And And I'm very excited for you. You really earned now the pleasure of this next phase in your life. So we all wish you the very, very best. And we're going to keep doing that until the last day you're here. And we will all be sad. But thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lundin. Well, we have lots of work to do between now and June, so we're just going to keep on going.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure to turn this portion of the meeting over to Dr. Singh, our superintendent.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Lundin. Well, I apologize for my voice. I'm a teeny bit under the weather, but I want to just say, we're not saying goodbye to Mrs. Norby right now. Julie, we are so, what a lovely occasion to actually make it official that you're going to be retiring, but there's still so much celebrating to do. And we will have something more celebratory and kind of more official as Julie's time gets closer to the end of her retirement, which will be toward the end of June. As you know, we're going to be in a process to select Mrs. Norby's replacement over the next couple of months. And that will be an exciting process that'll involve lots of folks in the district. But in the meantime, Julie, congratulations on the officialness of you submitting your retirement notice, and which is why we're all talking about it tonight. But there's certainly more celebrating and honoring to do for you over the next couple of months. With that, Mrs. Lundin and board members, thank you so much for your comments this evening. You know, one of the things that we are so pleased to share with you, pardon me, this evening, as if you'll recall, I shared with you that we were at about 1,300 students a day absent about 2 weeks ago. And today we're down to just about 400. Oh. So we are, it's the reason why we haven't been in our schools. And frankly, because most importantly, it's because many of the days our principals and assistant principals were subbing in classrooms. And so to not have a big group of folks walking around while people were making things work. And that's really where I want to just extend my gratitude to, again, as we always say, our employees, our teachers, our classified staff, and our school and district leaders. We have weathered this surge better than many, and only because of the camaraderie, teamwork, and commitment that every person on this team has toward ensuring that our students have the best possible experience they can have, even in these really difficult times. So again, I know on behalf of our governing board, for those of you who are listening tonight, you also have heard me many times on our board meetings, extending our gratitude to our parents. And they have worked arm in arm with us on helping to keep our kids safe and healthy. And we have really been succeeding, and we are on the upswing now, which we're really happy about because we really need to have our kids in school. So just a big thank you to everyone for the work that's been happening to keep our classrooms open and getting more and more of our kids back to school. And that's all I have for this evening so far. Thank you, Mrs. Lundin.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. That takes us to board operations. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of our January 24th regular board meeting?
To approve the minutes.
Thank you, Mrs. Lieber. Do I have a second?
A second.
Any comments or questions? All right, we're ready for a vote. Mrs. Lieber?
Aye.
Mrs. Libas?
Aye.
Mr. Pavella?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. The minutes are approved. Secondly, I would like to entertain a motion to support resolution 18-21/22, continuing Board of Trustees authority to hold virtual meetings pursuant to AB 361.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Do I
A
have a
second.
Ms. Lopez, thank you. Any comments? Vote. Mr. Pavella?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Mrs. Libas?
Aye.
Mrs. Lieber?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Approved. Human resources. All right, we have Three big items. The first is the FEDA tentative agreement. Do I have a motion to approve the comprehensive tentative agreement with the Fallbrook Elementary Teachers Association, otherwise known as FEDA?
I move to approve the agreement.
Thank you, Mrs. Lieber. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mrs. Libas. All right, time for comments or questions.
Congratulations on getting it done quickly. And sounds like everybody was thrilled with the results. So thank you.
I think this is a testament to the careful fiscal management by Dr. Singh and Ms. Martin and their team to be able to do this, especially right now. And it's also a sign of how much we really value our teachers and our next motion or our next action, our staff. And I'm very proud of our district right now.
I would second that. Absolutely. Everybody.
Mrs. Lundeen, there's just one thing I'd like to add if I could. If there's, I really also want to extend our gratitude to both our FEDA and our CSEA. That's the next item. Both bargaining units have a negotiations team, and they take time away from their schedule as classroom teachers or as our classified support staff. They take time from their workday to negotiate on behalf of their bargaining unit, as well as our management team. As you know, we have our side, our bargaining unit, our management team has a negotiations team, and everyone takes time to come to the table and really listen and collaborate on what we can do to provide and respond to the needs of our employees. I'm so proud and pleased and grateful to our governing board to support what we know today as the highest on schedule salary increase in all 42 school districts in San Diego County. In addition to the increase in health insurance costs, and as well as a variety of other items you can see in both agreements that are in response to our employees' needs and the resources they need to do their jobs well. We're very proud of these agreements, and I really want to extend our gratitude for the bargaining teams for the great work that we did during this negotiation seasons. And we're so pleased to be able to provide this kind of compensation increase.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. Thank you very much. Are we ready for a vote? Okay. Mr. Favela?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
Lieber?
Aye.
Mrs. Libas? Aye. And I vote aye as well. Motion carries and the agreement is approved. And the next item is that we consider approving the comprehensive tentative agreement with the California School Employees Association, otherwise known as CSEA. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve.
Thank you, Mrs. Lieber.
I'll second.
Mrs. Lopez, comments, questions?
Again, thank you for both sides of the negotiation teams for their time they put into this.
It's the village.
Mhm.
All right, I will call for the vote then. Let's start with Mrs. Lieber.
Aye.
Mrs. Libas?
Aye.
Mr. Favela?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Lastly, our management team, our confidential employees and our unrepresented employees, we're being requested to take action on a 5% salary increase to all management, confidential, and unrepresented employees. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Comments, questions?
Thanks for all your hard work this last year. Wow. This is so well deserved.
Absolutely.
Vote. Okay, Mrs. Lieber.
Aye.
Mrs. Libas. Aye. Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
Mr. Favela.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. All three have been approved. Okay, moving to the next item, educational services. Can I just over to you, Dr. Singh, or Mrs. Norwood?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Sorry. Should I turn this part over Do you need to give any background or does Mrs.?
You know what, if you could just make a motion to open the item and then we can have
Right.
a discussion.
Right. Do we have a motion to approve the comprehensive school safety plans for the 2021-22 school year? at the following school sites: Fallbrook STEM Academy, La Paloma Elementary, Live Oak Elementary, Mayellis Elementary, Mary Fay Pendleton School, Potter Junior High School, San Onofre School, and the William H. Fraser Elementary School. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve them.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Yes, thank you. Okay, now we're open for.
Perfect. And if we provided you a pretty thorough summary in your weekly update about the comprehensive school safety plan. So if we could start, we're available to answer questions for you if the board has any questions or comments.
I'm very proud of our district's focus on the social emotional health of our students. And it's not something new, but it's more important than ever right now. And I think it's apparent from these plans.
I'd like to thank those who put these plans together. They're fabulous plans and they are juggling so much right now. I mean, these are difficult times with sometimes our principals and vice principals in classrooms. And at the same time, they're putting these 20-page plans together. So thank you to the team that put these together.
Yeah, I think we're ready for a vote. Do I have a vote now? We're Lieber.
Aye.
Mrs. Libis. Aye. Mr. Favela.
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Motion carries. The next two items are information only. First reading of the Mike Choate preschool instructional calendar and workshop and conference attendance. And that moves us to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Thought there was a lot of good feedback that we received from Dr. Singh and Susan Levis. You asked some, well, actually all of the questions on the board, you've asked some very helpful questions. Thank you. I know you're under the weather and you did a great job answering those questions and that's knowledgeable about all these items on the consent agenda. So we can vote for them all at once. So thank you.
Mrs. Lieber.
Aye.
Mrs. Libis. Aye. Mr. Favela.
Aye.
Ms. Lopez.
Aye.
As well, the consent agenda is approved. Future items for consideration. Which was the one, Mrs. Lieber, that you had mentioned that you would like us?
Well,
the reading program.
Everyone is a reader. This
Everyone is a reader.
old program that has been around for so long, but it's more timely now from our learning loss that's occurred that I think it might be worth a board presentation on. And I'm not sure that this is a good idea, but it seems to me we're at a point that we should maybe have a board presentation on why we are masking. What the legal reasons are that we've made these choices, because it seems to me the community needs to know that. And I think that there is some really compelling information that we are not sharing properly based on the comments that we've just heard tonight. So I think it would be good to, at the next board meeting, to do a deep dive into that so that we can inform our community and ourselves to a higher level.
Good suggestion. All right. I'm jotting this down so I don't forget.
And Dr. Singh has her hand up, I believe.
No.
Sorry.
Well, with that, it is now 7:03. Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.